Hello guys, welcome to the another video of the pharmacovigilance program organized by Soulmate Pharma. So today's topic of discussion is drug discovery and clinical trials in pharmacovigilance. So today we'll be focusing mainly on the journey of a drug molecule before it reaches to the pharmacovigilance or phase 4 trials. So in this video we'll see the basic definition of a drug, followed by how a drug molecule, a particular molecule serving identified or screened for a particular disease, and how these are optimized to make suitable, and after that how it performs, how it goes through clinical trials, and ultimately it reaches to the market. So the entire journey will be covered in this video. So now, coming to the basic introduction part. So when it comes development, then drug development mainly consists of a part drug discovery. It means need to identify the exact molecule, exact some of the candidates, some of the molecules which are best fitted to just cure or mitigate the disease. So drug development consists of two phases, mainly drug discovery and then drug development. The entire process is a long, costly and complex, with the coordinated efforts of teams involved in research, development, manufacturing, medical, regulatory, marketing and business management. So as I've already said in my previous videos, that drug development is a tedious job and it requires a lot of time and effort, and there is no guarantee that you will get success after doing all the things. It's very less chance that you will be successful in first attempt or you will be success. So lot of molecules needs to be screened. Each of the molecules needs to go through a various different stages before it finally reaches to the market, because it is the question of health of the humans, and we are not allowed to play with the health and livelihood and the safety of the human beings. So it is basically a teamwork, because it goes through various stages and different people, in starting from the people who are just searching for the molecule, who are doing researches, then the people who are doing development, then the manufacturers, then medical team, then different regulatory authorities, marketing, business management. So everybody should do their best, should contribute their best effort to get a drug to the market, to let a drug come to the market. So clinical study is an indispensable part of a drug discovery process. The scope and duration of these trials will widely vary based upon the nature of the drug and its therapeutic application. Clinical trials on patients in the different countries are approved and monitored by different regulatory agencies. So definitely it is an indispensable process, as we cannot neglect the clinical trial. The importance of clinical trial cannot be neglected. So if a drug comes to the market without any proper clinical trial, then make people it will cause harm to the people or the humans rather than curing the disease. It may cause severe consequences to the health of the people. So clinical trials cannot be ignored, though it is a lengthy, time consuming procedure, but there is no other alternative to clinical trial. It is designed to ensure that only those pharmaceutical products that are both safe and effective are brought to the market. So basic aim of clinical trial is to identify the safety as well as the efficacy of the drug. So in clinical trials, the dose of a drug is just developed, and during development of a therapeutic dose, the safety as well as the effectiveness is very, very much important. So the main motto of clinical trial is to find the safety and effectiveness of a drug in human population. Now, just moving to the definition of drugs. So as per Drug and Cosmetic Act, Certain things which can be considered as drug has been listed here. So what is a drug basically? Means what is the scope? What are the criteria which a substance should satisfy to consider it as a drug? So the scope of drug, while we considering the scope of the drug, all medicines for internal or external use of human beings or animals, and all substances intended to be used for or in the diagnosis, treatment, mitigation, or prevention of any disease or any disorder in human beings or animals means. So the definition covers the things which are also used in diagnosis, treatment, mitigation. Means diagnostic things are also considered as drug. These in human beings or animals, including preparations applied on human body for the purpose of repelling insects like mosquitoes. So different mosquito repellent creams, different insect repellent creams which you are spraying or applying in the body, they are also considered as drug. Such substances other than food intended to affect the structure or any function of human body or intended to be used for the destruction of vermin or insects which cause disease in human beings or in animals. So this should be able to destroy the insects or the disease causing organism in the body, and it may affect the structure and function of human body as well as may be specified from time to time by central government by notification in the official gazettes. So it is already mentioned in the official gazettes. All substances intended for use as components of a drug, including empty gelatin capsules. So they are also considering this empty gelatin cell capsule and such devices intended for internal or external use in the diagnosis, treatment, mitigation, or prevention of disease or disorder in human beings or animals as specified by from time to time by central government by notification in official gazette after consultation with the board. So everything occurs as per the official gazette is as per the consultation after a proper meeting. The memorandum of the circulation is raised. Now, what is the objective of drug discovery and drug development? So while moving to the objective, while we are moving to the objective of clinical trials, so first motto is to identify whether the drug is fulfilling the unmet medical need. So unmet medical need means, for example, if I consider the case of COVID-19, so there are no such medications or vaccines available initially. So the need to eradicate or to cure COVID-19 was not there. So the purpose was to develop a particular substance which will just help to meet the unmet need with or the unmet or the harmful consequences being caused by COVID-19. So the purpose of COVID-19, the COVID-19 was not being served properly, or means the harmful effect was not being treated properly before the invention of vaccine. So it was basically unmet need. So in that sense, they are saying that to fulfill the unmet medical need of a particular drug, does the drug work? The objective of clinical trial also includes to identify whether the drug, particular molecule which has been identified is particularly working or not. So we need to identify that as well. So if it is not working, if the drug doesn't work, then it will not be considered, it will not be screened, or it will not be used for the desired purpose. Does the drug fit the company portfolio? So the drug should be such that it should not be too much of costly, or it should not be a burden to the company, because company is also making is mean for doing profit. And at the same time, if a drug which is very much costly and which takes lot of research and which may require lot of money or lot of economic financial needs if a company requires a lot of money to invest in that particular development of that particular drug, then definitely it is not easy for that company to just participate or involve the clinical trial, and as a result company may suffer loss. So the method of drug discovery or the drug molecule which has been identified should not be too much costly, means it would not lead to too much procurement or too much budget. Does the drug have obvious undesirable properties? So, while going to the drug discovery, it is necessary to identify if the drug is particularly causing any sort of harmful or undesirable side effects. So, side effects are basically common for a particular drug. Most of the drugs, in fact, no drugs are out of side effects. But if the ratio of the side effect just overweights the benefit effect, or it causes intense or extensive side effects or toxic effects, then that molecule will not be considered for further processing or for just introduction into the market. So that is also important factor. Can the drug be formulated easily? So definitely drug formulation is in fact the drug formulation procedure is not an easy, right? But still there is researchers, they always just try to see if this drug formulation can be done easily in a short period of time, using less chemicals, using less resources. If this can be formulated, so as it will be just, then it will definitely be economic for the company, it will fit the company portfolio. And again they are saying it that can be economically manufactured. So manufacturing, everyone is just looks after money, and definitely if one thing, something should be manufactured economically, so that the cost of purchasing that drug is also less. Because if it requires a tedious or expensive things to manufacture or develop a particular drug, then naturally the drug will come to the market, but it will be not affordable and the people will have difficulty to purchase it. So definitely economic means are also taken care of, or the researchers also search for the economic tools for manufacturing drug. Now the process of drug discovery, now it's something like that drug is known as lead, and the disease or the molecule which is involved in that disease is known as the target. So this is the basic concept. And for example, when there is a fight or when there is a war, then something is that we need to just identify the enemy. The first of all, it involves the identifying the enemy among group of different people. So when you are just going for different world war or different war which you have seen in history, which have occurred in history, so it involves identifying the particular enemy which is causing the disease. We need to identify that particular enemy, and once the enemy is identified, then we need to identify the weak point of that particular enemy, and accordingly we need to just use our weapon to target that weak point of that enemy. So this is the basic mechanism, basic principle how a war takes place, as we have seen in history as well. But so drug discovery, the process is also something like that, which involves identify the particular molecule or the particular protein which is involved in causing that damage to the body. After that, these some of the criteria, these are being identified, then we need to just identify the weapon, the drug, according, so that it can just fit to that particular molecule, particular area, infected area, or the harmful protein, and it may just may lead to the weakening, or just it might defeat that particular protein or kill that particular protein. So this is the basic mechanism, basic principle, basic idea of drug discovery in layman language. So target identification, that means identification of the particular disease causing molecule. So a drug target is a molecule in the body, usually a protein, that is intrinsically associated with a particular disease process, and that could be addressed by a drug to produce a desired therapeutic effect, as I have already told. So to identify, so a disease involves a various a mechanism. So target identification involves just to identify the mechanism of the particular disease, and usually a protein or a gene or a nucleic acid or RNA is mainly involved in causing the particular abnormality or the particular disease. So to identify that particular protein or the particular biomolecule is known as target identification. A drug target is usually selected depending on the requirement of the problem disease. Hence, this step is as primarily biological or biochemically driven. Ideally, the target must be associated with a disease, and it must have a suitable binding pocket active site to which a drug or drug-like molecule can bind. See, what happens? We use our legs to walk, to stand. So definitely a drug, because when a drug comes, a drug needs to identify a particular area so that it can sit or it can just stand over to that particular site. So if that molecule should have a site so that it, or the area, so that it can may lead, it may allow to sit that particular drug molecule. So there should be a particular site associated with the drug. The identification of that site is important. A drug molecule cannot target or cannot sit anywhere in the body or in the body of the target molecule, into the target molecule. So it should have a particular area which may allow the drug. So identification of that particular area for the drug target is important. Generally, proteins are good targets, but sometimes RNA can also serve the purpose. Enzyme usually contains small groups or pockets into which substrate or a small ligand can easily bind. So enzymes are a good candidate, a good target for a particular drug, because enzymes have such provisions to allow that particular drug to stand or to sit inside the body. Because if a drug cannot sit inside that particular, it cannot sit inside that particular target molecule, then it will not be able to produce the desired effect. Enzymes usually contain small groups or pockets into which substrate or a small ligand can easily bind and inhibit it. Therefore, enzymes are excellent drug targets. So basically, enzymes, RNA, then proteins, these are considered as the particular drug target. Now, so such targets are identified in a number. So only one target you are not going to identify. You will identify around 5,000 to 10,000 such molecules are being identified in the body, and such molecules are identified, then these are considered to be screened. So basically, first of all, we just go into the body to identify the molecule, and after that some of the best potential molecules are being selected, so which is basically nothing known as optimization. So 5,000 to 10,000 molecules for a potential drug candidates are selected. Such molecules, also such protein or enzymes are selected, and they undergo rapid screening process. Once scientists confirm interaction with drug target, they typically validate the target by checking activity against the disease condition for which the drug is being developed. So once the scientists confirm that the drug particular molecules are suitable, so they just help check the activity against the disease condition for which the drug is being developed. So first, the idea is that first of all, the particular molecule is selected, some of the molecules are selected, and the molecules are being in vitro or in vivo tested, so to identify whether the particular molecules are causing disease. So these molecules might be exposed to even in vivo as well as in vitro to different people as well, and to see if that particular molecule is basically causing the disease or not. And once those particular molecule, and it is identified that that particular molecule is involved in causing the disease, then that particular molecules are being selected. So this is known as target validation. And after that, we just go for our lead identification. So some of the best enemies or the possible suspected enemies are being identified, and now you need to develop the weapon to develop the particular drug which will be able to kill or the target that particular enemy or those enemies. So now in lead identification, it involves identification of the particular molecule, the drug molecule. Lead compounds are chemical compounds that show desired biological or pharmacological activity and may initiate the development of a new clinical relevant compound. So that particular drug molecule should have that particular pharmacological or the activity, so that it can cause the eradication or the treatment of that particular disease, or the particular protein or the target can be cured or can be killed. Possible source of lead compounds and are novel drugs include natural products. So natural products has always been used as one of the best source to identify particular drug. Different natural products are being unexplored till date, and there are different natural products which are also under to extensive research, so to develop to identify the potential of the best drug molecule out of those natural products. For example, different natural products like cannabis, then papaverine, then different digitalis, tulsi. These serves to be are of various importance. They are used to treat various diseases. So even that antimalarial drug, quinine, artemisinin, these things are widely used in the market. Quinine obtained from the bark of cinchona tree. So these molecules are being screened. These molecules are identified so that it suitably may be used to target that particular disease causing gene. Then chemical libraries. So chemical libraries means there are certain libraries in which various synthetic compounds are present. So like the book library of book, there are library of chemicals as well, in which various synthetic compounds are there, and there are some rapid screening occurs known as high throughput screening, HTS. So by means of this high throughput screening, such such synthetic compounds, the best synthetic compounds are identified. So different screening procedure basically takes place to identify the particular drug molecule, the particular drug candidate which can just target that particular gene, particular disease causing gene, or the protein or the enzyme. So different screening procedure like microtiter assay, we have seen where we use 96-well microtiter plate. They can also serve as a good candidate. Then different chromatographic assays are there, high throughput screenings. So different advanced techniques are also there. Another is computational medicinal chemistry, which basically involves identification of drug by quantitative structure activity relationship, like molecular docking. You must have heard about this term, molecular docking. So in molecular docking, what is basically done? With the aid of computers, these computers or different softwares are there, which they just identify the particular drug molecule, which will just be able to just hit that particular target. So different combinatorial chemistries, quantitative structure, activity relationships, all also aiding in drug discovery process. And due to this use of computers, the time for drug discovery and the particular lead identification has reduced greatly. So now again optimization. So once that some of the molecules, particular drug molecules are identified, we will identify some of the molecules, and after that those molecules are screened. Or sometimes those molecules are being altered, their structures are being altered, because for example, what happens is that we there are different functional groups attached with a particular molecule. So OH group, CH3 group, then Cl group, different groups are there attached to a particular molecule. So we need to identify that particular functional moiety which is responsible, which can be used to eradicate that particular target to particular disease. So sometimes those functional moieties may not be in a proper form, or it may be in a form that it cannot be introduced in body. So such functional groups, such potential or the possible functional groups are identified in that particular molecule. That functional group needs to be some sort of grooming or some sort of modification. For example, some sort of function into binding, or some sort of a- additional activity, some sort of addition reactions, some other reactions are being undergone. So after that particular functional group is being groomed or it may is modified, then only it can be introduced inside the body of the human being to just target that particular disease causing protein. So we have also seen the idea of that structure activity relationship study, which is a very important study done. So in structure activity relationship, we are just taking a particular molecule and we are just studying what are the functional groups associated with that particular drug, and how that particular functional group is responsible for causing what are the functions of those particular functional groups. So in that way, we are just identifying the best functional group or the functional moiety which can just best fit that particular target. So, and if necessary, that particular functional group can be altered or or may slightly be changed so that it may produce the desired effect. So structure activity relationship comes to a very important factor here. And apart from that structure relationship, so there is something known as quantitative structure activity relationship, which involves the use of computer softwares, so which will just hasten, or it will just hasten the process of such optimization. So this drug discovery, molecular docking is nowadays becoming very important, because it will just reduce, it will also help in minimizing the time of development of drug, as well as it may sometimes also bypass the painful human experimentations. Because if a drug is being needs to be, if a particular lead compound needs to be introduced in different human beings, then it is definitely painful to that particular human, as it will consume lot of time, because we need to identify the suitable patient, suitable human person, then we need to take their consent, and only after that we can just introduce that particular drug molecule, particular lead into that particular person. But while you are using the help of computers, such things are not required. We can rely on the computer softwares, and the computer softwares at a time can do multiple works. They can at a time screen lot of molecules. So lead optimization is also an important task which can be done easily using computer softwares. Now, here comes the life cycle of the drug, and you can see the time frame. So it is very, very, very time consuming process. So it may take 10 to 15 years even for a drug to come into the market successful. So you just see, first of all, pre-discovery process is there, and then means identification of that particular disease. We need to identify that particular disease, the mechanism which by which the drug particular disease is being caused, what is the biochemical mechanism that is involved in that particular disease, what are the genes or the proteins involved in the particular disease, that is considered under pre-discovery process. And after that, based upon identifying the enemy, the particular lead molecule is being discovered, the particular drug molecule is being groomed, the structures are being altered, modified, and after that the suitable drug comes. So 5,000 to 10,000 compounds are being considered, and these compounds, after that drug discovery, these are taken to the preclinical phase. That means it will not use the means without using human beings. First of all, preclinical means use of animals. So only out of these 5,000 to 3,000 compounds, 250 compounds are being used in the preclinical trials, and only this much procedure takes 3 to 6 years. So you can just imagine so how time consuming it is. That's why the use of computers, different quantitative structure activity relationship, molecular docking, mining, data mining is now becoming important so that the time can be reduced. Then it comes IND application, means a application which we will see the later part of this presentation. The definition of INDA means it is nothing but basically just taking means some regulatory approval before being introducing a drug into the clinical trials before a human experimentation. Then comes some only 5 to 10 compounds are selected, and these are being introduced in clinical trials. So clinical trials go through 3 phases. Actually, there is another phase also, phase 0. After that, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 comes, and which again takes 6 to 7 years. And after that, again FDA or the regulatory authority reviews the report of the clinical trials, and again they will just approve the particular drug molecule if it is suitable or not. And after this, the final one drug molecule comes. So starting from 5 to 10,000 compound to one but base drug, it takes around 6 years, 6 13 around 15 years. So to develop a particular drug, or to come, or the introduction of a particular drug into the market or large scaling manufacturing. So this is the entire life cycle of drug development. Now coming to the preclinical testing. So once some of the molecules are being screened as lead compounds, then those molecules are now ready. Now they are considered for testing in animals or non-humans. With few optimized compounds, researchers go for testing in non-humans. So in vitro test experiments is conducted in the lab, usually carried out in test tubes and beakers. So some of the tests in using different chemicals are conducted in labs as well. So vitro means glass in Latin, and there is also in vivo studies, are those studies in which cell cultures and animals are used. Different rat, mice, hamster, monkeys. These are supposed to be the good animals or best animals to conduct clinical trials, preclinical studies. So what are the objectives of preclinical studies? So first of all, the objectives are to identify the toxicology, pharmacodynamic, as well as the pharmacokinetic property of that particular drug molecule, of those particular drug molecules. So toxicology study means potentiality of the drug or its metabolite to kill or damage cells and organs, or it may cause cancer, reproductive problems, including birth defects or sterility. So definitely a drug is nothing but a poison. So we need to identify that whether the drug has any toxicological effect, and if toxicological effect is there, it is up to what extent. So whether the drug is or its metabolite is killing a particular cell or organ, or it is causing cancer, or it may cause birth defect. So we need to identify those characteristics, and so these are very much this could be very much toxic. It could be detrimental for the life of humans. So these studies are not conducted in humans directly. These are first conducted in animals. And that once the toxicology is established, then pharmacodynamic property is also considered. So in pharmacodynamic, reaction between drug and living structures, including the process of bodily the response to pharmacological, biochemical, physiological, therapeutic effects. So in pharmacodynamic study, the body response to the particular drug is considered, like pharmacological, biochemical, physiological, and therapeutic effects are studied. And in pharmacokinetic studies, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of a drug is seen. So through preclinical studies, such toxicological, pharmacodynamic, and pharmacokinetic studies are being established. And once those studies, there is a green signal from preclinical testing, this study shows that it is not causing much harm, or it is not causing any much sort of detrimental effects to the animals, then this will just go for further proceedings, that means in clinical trial. So who reviews that? Who reviews the results of preclinical testing? So while reviewing, when it comes to reviewing of the preclinical study results, then IND comes into the action. IND means investigation and new drug application. Before any clinical trial can begin, the researchers must file an investigation and new drug application with the FDA. The application includes the results of the preclinical work, the candidate's drug chemical structure, and how it is thought to work in the body, a listing of any side effects, and manufacturing information. So all the results of preclinical studies, how the study has been conducted, and what are the conclusion, what are the results of the preclinical testing in animals, those studies are the results and reports are being submitted to FDA, and FDA now reviews everything, the reports. Though, so, and if the FDA sees, or the FDA thinks that it is okay, the results are okay, then FDA will provide that particular green signal, and now it will just go to the human beings. So it will now be subjected to human trials. The IND also provides a detailed clinical trial plan. So not only the result of preclinical testing, but a brief blueprint or brief idea about the clinical plan, the brief map of the clinical trial is also being filed in that particular IND application. The IND also provides a detailed clinical trial plan that outlines how, where, and by whom the studies will be performed. The FDA reviews the application to make sure people participating in the clinical trials will not be exposed to unreasonable risks. So FDA definitely, as a regulatory authority, as a responsible regulatory authority, it is the duty of to identify whether the particular human or participating in that trial is not being subjected to an unreasonable risk. And in addition, all clinical tests must be reviewed and approved by institutional review board at the institutions where clinical trials will take place. So not only FDA, but the clinical trials at the is being conducted in a particular site. So there exists a particular areas of the site where clinical trials are conducted, and there exists an institutional review board. So a review board is also there, which is associated with that particular site. So that particular institution review board will also review or check that particular INDA, and their approval is also important along with the approval of FDA. If they are not approving IRB, if they are not particularly approving that particular trial, then trials may not be carried in that particular site. So basically, there are three types of INDA. An investigator IND is submitted by physician who both initiates and conducts an investigation, and under whose immediate direction the investigational drug is administered or dispensed. So this is basically normal IND. When IND goes through a normal procedure, it doesn't bypasses any of the steps, then it is known as investigator INDA, which is submitted by a investigator physician and who conducts physician investigation. So, and next comes is emergency use IND and treatment IND. So these two are basically almost similar. So these two are certain INDF which are meant for emergency use purposes. So emergency use IND allows the FDA to authorize use of an experimental drug in an emergency situation that does not allow time for submission of an IND accordance with 21 CFR section 31223 or section 31220. So when it is bypassing some of the steps, then it is emergency use IND, as it occurs in situations when there exists no particular drug in the market to eradicate or to treat a particular life-threatening or fatal condition. For example, you can see the situation of COVID-19. There was nothing available to cure or to treat that particular COVID-19, and as a result, there was a continuous pressure to hasten or to make the clinical trial faster. So in that such scenario, in such circumstances, this emergency use IND or treatment IND may play role. Means it will bypass some of the steps, and it will just help to just allow the particular drug to come in the market easily. So because our ultimate goal is to safeguard the life of the human beings, and if there is a very much delay in coming or introduction of a drug into the market, then definitely lot of people will die out of that particular disease. So there are certain provisions as per law which allows a drug in certain emergency situations or certain situations to bypass some of the steps. So this is one bypassing steps which is known as emergency use IND. It is also used for patients who do not meet the criteria of an existing study protocol, or if an approved study protocol does not exist. So if any product treatment protocol or any protocol is not there, then emergency use IND can be used. So again, another is treatment IND. Treatment IND is submitted by experimental drugs showing promise in clinical trial testing for serious or immediately life-threatening conditions, while the final clinical work is conducted and the FDA review takes place. So again, this is also meant for serious or immediately life-threatening conditions. The only so emergency use IND and treatment IND are basically similar. The only difference is that in emergency use INDA, the IRB, when the institution review board, are also not allowed. Means institutional review board may not be allowed, or their approval is not required when it is for emergency use. Whereas in case of treatment IND, it is also meant for serious or immediate life-threatening conditions, but here IRB will review that particular IND. But in case of emergency use IND, IRB doesn't review that particular IND. Now, once there is a green signal from FDA, then the role of clinical trial comes. That means now the drug is safe to introduce into the human body. So clinical trials are medical researches involving people. Clinical means humans, means all new drug treatments have to thoroughly tested. Researchers test possible new drugs in the laboratory to begin with. If they look promising, they are carefully tested in people. Clinical trials helps to evaluate new drugs, medical devices, biologics, or other interventions on patients in strictly scientifically controlled settings. So certain control areas are being introduced, certain areas in which the drug is introduced, drug, medical device, or biological products, or different biological products, that means different vaccines, etc., are introduced in the patient under some controlled environment. It also helps required for regulatory authorities approval of new therapies. So based upon the results of clinical trials only, regulatory authorities, FDA, they will approve the new therapy. So they will consider the best particular molecule. That means some of the molecules, means 20 to 50 molecules has been introduced, means around 5 to 10 molecules has come to clinical trials, and out of this the particular best molecule, that particular one molecule will be identified based upon the clinical trial. The regulatory authority will provide green signal to be introduced into the market based upon the results of clinical trial only. To access the safety and efficacy of experimental therapy, definitely everything is done for safety and efficacy. So means by means of clinical trial, the safety and efficacy of that particular drug in human beings can be established to evaluate whether the new intervention is better than standard therapy. So what happens in market? Different competitor products, sometimes different products are available in the market, but some other competitor products may also undergo clinical trial, may develop, may be may just come to the clinical trial studies. So it will also help to access whether that the particular new drug is better, or is better, or it is a best, or it is another good alternative, maybe cost effective alternative to that particular drug which is available in the market presently. So to compare the efficacy of two standard or marketing interventions, so by means of clinical trials, a drug which is in the market, their efficacy can also be just compared by means of doing clinical trial. So when coming to the phases of clinical trial, there are basically phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Phase 4 is nothing but pharmacovigilance study, while phase 0 is something which is also known as exploratory phase. So exploratory phase, this phase is basically meant for cancer patient or severe life-threatening, or the patients who are just suffering for life-threatening disease. So phase 0 is exploratory phase. First in man early trial to determine if the drug engages in expected targets. So by means of phase 0, it is just that idea, or the motto is to see whether the particular molecules just goes and identify particular target, or in other words, it can be said that it is meant to see whether the particular drug molecule or the particular molecules are just producing an effect, minimum effect is being produced. So only that much is seen in phase 0 trials. So as far dosing is considered, it is done in a single and very low dose, means very much low, means even less than 1% of the dose calculated to produce a clinical therapeutic effect. Means at a very low dose, the drug is introduced into the body, so that the particular drug is producing a minimum effect. It is just hitting that particular target, that's it, and nothing else is considered. So only 10 to 15 healthy volunteers are being considered for phase 0 study. So the endpoints are not expected to show clinical effects or significant adverse effects. So here we are not considered, there people are not bothered about any sort of clinical therapeutic, even therapeutic effects or significant adverse effect. Just they are just focusing on particular effect, means a drug has that particular effect, may produce only just effect, or just it can identify a particular target. It helps to choose between competing chemical analogs for further study. So it can be conducted with prior approval while final IND review is pending. So even when the IND review is pending, this phase can be conducted. So next comes phase 1 study. Initial safety evaluations determine safe dose range, identify common side effects, study toxicity profile of the drug. In these, 20 to 80 healthy human volunteers are being screened. So here what happens? So here the dose range, side effects, toxicity profile of the drug are being considered, and here also patients are not being taken. Only healthy human volunteers are being considered. So drug is introduced in single dose at first, and after that dose is increased. But means drug will be introduced in single dose, and after that dose will be increased, but not with the particular sort of humans, but with the dose increase will be done in other sort of humans. So what happens basically, for example, 10 people are being considered. They are introduced a particular dose of a drug, and if the signal is okay, then the dose is increased now, and now those 10 humans will not get exposed to a particular drug, but some again the other 10 group of people are considered, and then these other 10 group of people will just get exposed to a little higher dose of that particular drug. So this is known as escalation of dose, which is done not on a particular group of human, but different group of humans are selected. So escalation of dose drug is done so that particular the effective dose can be established. So escalation of dose ends when unacceptable side effects occur. So and this means increase of the acceleration of dose is being continued until and unless undesirable side effect occurs. So they will particularly keep on increasing the dose in among the different group of people, and once it sees that particular, and after a time it can be identified that this particular dose, after this particular dose some undesirable effect is considered is happening, then those then that high dose is not considered, and in that way the therapeutic dose, the therapeutic window, the therapeutic margin of that particular drug is being established. So this is known as a dose optimization, in which the optimal dose is being established. Together with phase 0 trial, first clinical trial conducted in an IND process. So the timing is that it is conducted along with phase 0 trial. So basic aim is to identify that particular dose, so minimum effective dose and maximum therapeutic dose. So the goal is to identify the maximum therapeutic dose, which can the therapeutic dose of the particular attack. So after therapeutic dose, we all know that after therapeutic dose there comes the toxic dose. So to identify that particular therapeutic range of that particular drug is the main motto of phase 1 trial. And when a drug just enters into that toxic dose window, when the dose enters into this toxic dose window, then the trial is stopped, and just at that point therapeutic dose is being established. Now comes the phase 2 trial. Phase 2 trial begins to explore efficacy while maintaining safety. So here 100 to 300 volunteers with a targeted medical condition is considered. Now in phase 2, for the first time the disease patient are being taken, the patient who has that particular disease. So these are basically multiple dose trial often conducted against placebo. So this dose is certain a comparative, this trial is basically a comparative study in which the comparison is made with drug already in the market or some of the dummy drugs, some of the placebo drugs. The comparison is made, and in this here multiple doses are being introduced, which is the main difference with the phase 1 trial. In phase 1 single dose was being introduced, but here multiple dose, a person may be exposed, a single person is being exposed to a multiple dose. Whereas in phase 1, a single person was getting exposed to a single dose, and another sort of people are getting to a particular dose. But here it is not like that. Here multiple doses are different doses are being administered to a particular patient only. It explores clinical effects against the targeted condition and reveals the less common side effects. So here, since the disease questions are being considered, so that here that means the targeted the defective gene of the protein is made available here, and so the effect of that particular lead molecule in that particular defective protein or that RNA can be studied, and it reveals the less common side effects which were not included in phase which could not be identified in phase 1. Those side effects can also be established in phase 2. It is conducted after report to FDA of results of phase 1 trial. So after phase 1 trial are being done, then the phase 2 trial begins. So this is the timing. So now comes the phase 3 trial. It involves final confirmation of safety and efficacy. In these 1,000 to 3,000 subjects with the targeted medical conditions are being considered. So it is basically similar to phase 2. Phase 3 has not much difference compared to phase 2. The only difference is that phase 2 was being carried in some limited number of patients, but in phase 3 the patient in it has phase 3 studies conducted in a wide expanded patient base. So here also it involves multiple dose trials. Ascending dose are being increased in a person is being exposed to multiple dose here also. So here you can also see different double blinded trial. Blinded trials are also conducted. Single dose trial, multiple dose trial, then double blinded trial, single blinded trial. These things are also conducted in phase 3. So blinded trial is nothing. When blinded trial means if when the patient or the physician they are not aware of that particular medicine which they are being administered. So these are basically blinded trial. So it confirms clinical efficacy of the drug against the target conditions and evaluates safety and side effects. So here also safety and the side effects, clinical efficacy are being introduced. It is conducted after the results of phase 2 trial. So and finally there comes phase 4 trial. After there is a green signal for phase 3 trials, then there comes phase 4 trial, and before that NDA application is there. So phase 4 trial is nothing. Any trial conducted after FDA approval of the drug means FDA approves based on the NDA application, and after that phase 4 trial begins. Number of subjects depend on trial endpoints and the dose is variable. So basically this is post-marketing study, means what people they just undergo when, because as when people are just purchasing the medicine and they are just taking that particular medicine, consuming the medicine, if they are just experiencing side effects, they will just report those side effects to the manufacturer or regulatory authority. So those all those things comes under phase 4 trial, the pharmacovigilance studies. It confirms clinical efficacy and safety and explore other possible drug uses. May be required as a condition of drug approval. So if there are in recent days it may happen that the side effects of a particular drug has increased, that there are too much of adverse event being reported for a particular drug, then there might be the drug might be sometimes withdrawn based upon clinical trials conducted after release of the drug by the FDA for marketing. So moving on to the next topic, NDA, new drug application. The goals of NDA are to provide enough information to permit FDA reviewer to reach the following key decisions. So NDA is something like INDA. INDA just focuses on the results of preclinical studies and based on which this approval is given by FDA. whether they approve whether this drug can be introduced in the clinicals or humans or not. As likewise in NDA, the results of clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials are being filed, and they will just review those results. FDA will review those results, and they will finally approve if whether that particular drug or the particular drug can be introduced in an expanded patient base. That means in the markets or not. So in India, FDA will just see, or the regulatory authority will see, whether the drug is safe and effective in the proposed use and whether the benefits of the drug outweigh the risks. So definitely after these also, drug will definitely have a risk profiling. It will cause adverse events, it will cause side effects, but the target is that to see if it is not causing a immense or extensive side effects or a very high amount of side effects, which is much higher than the benefit effect of the drug. So FDA, they just see whether the drug is safe and effective, and whether the benefit of the drug is higher than risks. So the risk profile should be always low. Risk profile or the adverse event profile of the particular drug is or should be always low. The beneficial effect should always be higher. Whether the drug's proposed labeling, packaging insert is appropriate and what it should contain. So the labeling information means how this drug, means the list of approved patient, list of approved people, list of approved areas where the drug may be used and may not be used. So different precautions, different warnings. So all these things comes under the labeling in the packaging inserts. So FDA will also review so those packaging inserts are okay or not, proper warnings, precautions, proper method or direction for use are being there or not. Which people will use that particular drug, which people are not allowed to use that particular drug, under what conditions the drug will not be used. Such informations are available or not, those are also being reviewed by FDA. FDA also reviews whether the methods used in manufacturing the drug and the controls used to maintain the drug's quality are adequate to preserve the drug's identity, strength, quality, and purity. So, how, so FDA will review also if the identity, quality, purity, strength are being are will remain integral. Means this will not being hampered. So their drug should be pure quality, should be of good quality, it should have particular strength, and it should be a good identity. So those things should be preserved while conducting the research studies. So the methods used in manufacturing or methods used in clinical trial should not alter those parameters of a particular drug. So FDA will review all these, and based upon this, FDA will just approve the particular drug to be used in expanded patient base or in market. So FDA will just take 6 to 10 months to conduct the entire procedure. They will just take in 6 to 10 months to review this base, to review those for that particular data, and after that FDA will approve it. And there is sometimes also heard something is there called ANDA. ANDA is nothing but is abbreviated new drug application. As the term suggests, abbreviated means shortcut. Again, there is a provision of shortcut, and this shortcut done for generic drug application. Means, for example, a particular drug is already there in the market, some innovator's drug, or the particular brand name drug is already there in the market, which has undergo various clinical trial stages and has reached to the market. And the second type, another competitor drug, means another competitor company has developed a particular drug, and they want, which is equivalent to the particular brand name drug which is already in the market, and they just want to introduce that particular competitor drug into the market. So So since that it is almost equivalent, it is therapeutic effect or its potential is almost is equivalent to the brand name drug which was first introduced in the market. So this competitor drug may not require all the extensive studies, all the extensive clinical trials. It may bypass different phases. So it doesn't require any sort of clinical trials. So that is known as in that scenario it is known as abbreviated new drug application. So it comes into play when the market equivalent of the generic drug comes into market, when a competitor pharma develops a particular drug, the original of which or the brand name of which is already in the market. So in that scenario, clinical trial phases can be just bypassed. Some of the clinical phases can be bypassed, and they need to just file that it establish that our drug is just similar, it is equally effective to that particular marketed drug, particular standard drug, and the main goal should be that the particular drug which is the new drug, new generic drug which is coming to the market through NDA should be cost effective, and by that FDA will approve ANDA for that particular market equivalent of that particular generic drug. So that's all for today. So if you have enjoyed our video, then please like, share, subscribe this channel and watch the video till end. Thank you and have a nice day.